Okay, welcome back. Today's video is a very, very special video because I have now qualified for a payout from TopStep for the first time in forever. I have waited for this day to come ever since I started TopStep, which was probably like a year ago, 10 or 11 months ago. It was like August. It is now June, so really like 10 months ago. I waited a long time for this moment, and it feels crazy, but it also doesn't feel as crazy. I don't know. I'm in this weird middle stage, but like, don't get me wrong. I am hella happy that I get to have a payout. Like, to even have that option, to even be at this position right now is crazy because the last 2 years, right? I've been trading for 2 years. It's been a long 2 years, but it has been like a very fast and quick 2 years. It's been a very, very like fulfilling 2 years of just constant learning, constantly checking the charts. I kid you not. I've said this before, but I have not missed a single day of looking at the charts, past trades and trades that I'm going to take, and studying and learning. And I have literally in the past 2 years dedicated my life to this, bro. I have optimized my life in a way where it is just around trading. Right now I work 3 jobs. One of them is kind of like I can just do whenever I want to. It's just Instacart. I do Instacart in my free time, like whenever I have downtime. My other job is I just work like a chill receptionist job. And my main gig is like I work overnight security. 2 years ago, I had 2 different jobs. I was only working 2 jobs. They were completely different, but they were still a job that was like super chill, enough for me to be able to like sit on my phone and trade. At the time of doing those 2 jobs, right? Like I worked at this like grocery store. I was like assistant manager there. I fucking did that for so long. And on my breaks and as I'm walking through the aisles, I'm checking my trades. I'd even trade TopStep at the time whenever I was doing that. I worked another receptionist job at like this rec center, and I have to be up at like 4 a.m. My days would start at 4:30, and I wouldn't finish until like 9 p.m. some days at the end of the night, sometimes like 10 p.m. So it'd be a long-ass day. And the whole time I'm just saving up money, thinking about trading, trying to save capital for trading. That's why TopStep is kind of like opens up a different door. It makes it easier because I don't have to save up like $10,000. I can just trade TopStep and it makes it easier, which is why I've been wanting to pursue that more than having to just like save my own capital. But anyways, I say all that just to give you context of like I have dedicated 2 years. I've dedicated the rest of my life basically to learning this. Well, I can't say the rest of my life, but I can say the past 2 years I've done nothing but optimize my life in a way to make it easier to be successful at trading. Constantly learning from the person that I did learn trading from, picking jobs that would make it easy for me to be able to trade while I'm there, and making it easy that I can just spend time of it's literally nothing but work and learn trading, work and learn trading, work and learn trading. That's it. Barely hung out with anybody. I don't know. I dedicated my heart to this. So it feels crazy to even be in this position of like getting a payout. I'm going to move myself so you can see that real quick. Like that is crazy to see. So I'm eligible for a payout, which is freaking insane. I've waited so long to see that screen right there. So that just kind of gives like a backstory on how the hell I even got here in the first place. I'm going to show also. Sorry, a bike went by and it was very loud. I'm going to show also the final trade that made me eligible to have a payout. What was I going to say? Anyways, whatever. I forgot. I'm just going to move myself so we can just go ahead and talk about it. But I'm just going to show also like, yeah, that's what I'm losing it, bro. I'm just thinking about this payout. So I'm going to show the strategy that I was using to even get this payout in the first place, because I'm going to title this video something like I don't know, strategy I used to get my first TopStep payout or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, look, you can even see I was talking to ChatGPT, trading doubts and life struggles. Bro, these past like 3 months have just been the shittiest months of my life. This past year, honestly, has just been the shittiest year of my life. So it's crazy to even like see this, that I'm eligible to do this after the past like 3 months of my life have looked. I've struggled in every possible way you can literally think of. You name it, well, not every problem, right? But the list of problems, financially, mentally, physically, just stressing overall, right? Anyways, it makes it that much sweeter to see this. And we are eligible for a freaking payout, which is insane. If you're new to TopStep, if you haven't traded with TopStep before and you're new to it, basically, my balance, my like account balance is $5,300. You can only withdraw a specific amount, which your max you can withdraw is $2,000. So that's why I can only withdraw $2K. This is the first one. So I'm going to show you. So just a little bit of the details, like my highest day, 53. I don't know. Lowest day, 1,400. Best day was 2,100. Worst day was $256. You know, you enable to get a payout, you have to have 5 consistent winning days on TopStep of $150 or more per day. These are kind of my stats. Look at this. I have a 50% win rate. Literally 50. And it's funny because it breaks down. I've taken 14 trades total. I've won half of those. And I made $5,300. That's insane. A 50% win rate. I'm right half the time. That's just funny. Like, I saw this last night. I was at work and I took this trade and it ended up playing out, and I checked my stats and I'm like, these stats are insane. My average win is 896 and my average loss is 130. So basically this sums up like literally all I do is when I enter a trade and it goes against me, and if it hits like halfway of my stop loss, I just close it early because I'm trying to cut my losers early. I'm going to explain that like further in detail after I request this payout. And when a trade is in profit, I do not touch it. I just let it go to the target profit. There's no need to touch a trade that is working out. So it's going into the result that I want. Why would I change it? And if it's going in a direction that I don't want, I can change it. I can stop it there and only lose like a third or like a fourth or like a half, of whatever my full loss is. But it is crazy. So I'm going to break down the trade that made me eligible for the payout. If you see my camera flicker, it's just because like I'm using this little janky attachment into my MacBook to be able to like record. So I apologize. I will hopefully get a couple more payouts and I'll be able to buy a better camera. You know what I'm saying? But it was on the NASDAQ. I traded micros. So firstly, I'm just going to show you. So like literally 50% win rate. I have lost 7 trades and I have won 7 trades. Look at my damn profit, or what's it called? There's a different, excuse me, my profit factor. This is insane. A 6.84. That's high as shit. That's like basically, I don't even know how to explain this so it makes sense. If your profit factor is at least a 2 or above, like you're profitable. And I hate to throw that word out because I know how that word like profitable. Truthfully, y'all, I'm in this weird stage of like, am I profitable? Did I just get lucky? Because I've passed like 2 or 3 evals before. And I'm just thinking like, did I just get lucky? Like 10 months ago, over the span of 10 months, like, sure, I've probably became a better trader and I probably, like, changed things. But, I've changed a couple, like, minor details. I still trade the same way that I was with TopStep, but instead I just changed a few things. But, like, did I just get lucky? Because I've done it 2 or 3 times before, and I was like not the best trader. But did I just get a lucky like week, right? Am I actually profitable? I don't like saying that word because it makes it sound so easy. And I don't want to push the wrong thing of like getting profitable is easy, and if you're still losing, like, what are you doing? I really hesitate to use the word profitable because I know like what that means, bro. Dude, you can make so many great moves and you can catch really great trades and you can have really great days, you can have really great weeks. But it just takes one moment, one day to spoil all of that. And it is hard. It is hard to figure out. It is hard to find order in chaos. Trading is chaos. It is chaotic. It is unpredictable. You do not know where the chart is going to. You don't know where price is going to go. You can pay attention to news, and it's not going to help you find the right. It's not going to help you predict which direction price is going to go. I don't even rely on prediction. I just rely on being able to say, like, this trade's not working out, I'm closing this. Or if a trade is working out, I'm like, I'm just going to let it do its thing because there's no reason to touch it. Literally, that's my, like, philosophy behind it. I'm not a philosopher, but, like, I love thinking about these things because that is just the important part. I have a 50% win rate. That is freaking nuts. And my profit factor is 6.8. That is insane. I don't even know how. These are like other little details. You can like pause and like look at these. Trade direction, 85%. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Oh, okay. I've taken more longs than I have shorts. Makes sense, bro, because all I do is trade like NASDAQ and gold. Long term when things are going up. So I guess you can, does this explain like my bias is like more towards longs? I don't know. I mean, truthfully, yeah, like I really wait for good buy opportunities and things like that. But this is just to run back to terminal, the history. So like the first day, I started this account on the 25th on a Sunday. I remember starting it this day. And the next day it was $1,400. The next day, $256. This day says 7 trades, but really because I traded late on Wednesday on this day, some of these trades, like 3 or 4 of them are actually going towards this day. But it's just because the session of when I'm trading it, which is like late in the day, got pushed into Thursday. So that's why this day is like really big. But it's just because I trade late because I have an overnight job and I'm awake really late at night. That week I made $4,800. And then yesterday I traded, it was Sunday, but the money went towards Monday, of course, because I traded late in the day. I was working overnight last night, so I took this trade, and then I kid you not, y'all, I was sitting at my job. After I had this winning trade, I was constantly refreshing the payout screen because I am waiting for this payout. And it was 2 a.m. I'm sitting there at the desk, being security, and I'm like refreshing. 4 a.m. comes by, I'm refreshing again. 5 a.m. comes by, I'm refreshing again. Like I'm refreshing every 5 minutes, basically. 7 a.m., I'm refreshing. I get home from work at like 6 a.m. I'm in bed, and I'm still like refreshing. I don't even want to go to sleep because I'm just kind of excited. I'm like, I want to see this. I want to see this shit because there's no way, right? I'm still kind of in disbelief, but I'm also like, I mean, like, it's a payout. But I'm also like, holy shit, bro, I've been waiting forever to get to this moment. So 8 a.m., I'm refreshing. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm dead tired. I'm still refreshing. Like, I'm just manic. Insane. I only want to point this out because I think that this is really cool. So you hear a lot of people say, wake up early, trade the Asian session, trade these specific times. You want to catch these sessions and you want to like mark out these highs and lows and aim for those. And like, to be honest, I don't even think the session matters. Now, like, there's more volatility in different sessions, yes. But I do not think that like a strategy should just rely on like certain times and like sessions and only aim to trade during these sessions because like it doesn't make sense to me because there could be a setup that happens that's not 7:30 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. I don't even know what fucking time it starts at 'cause I don't trade that shit. So, but there could be a setup that happens at that time. And it could be like 10 at night. Maybe you're up for some reason. You're studying your trades and something pops up and you're like, like this follows my strategy actually. Like this would be a good opportunity to buy or sell. But it's not 8:30, so I can't take this trade. It's like, bro, if the opportunity presents itself, take it. And if it looks good and you're able to like scale out your risk, or I say scale out, but really like set up your risk structure and like where are you going to put your stop loss, where are you going to put your target profit, what are you aiming for, what does it look like, what's going on, and then like if it sets up, take it. And if it goes against you, close it early. And if it continues in a profit, well, cool, bro. Like let it do its thing. So you can see a lot of my trades are like in the PM. Every now and then, I think I had one that was like 7:30 a.m. I don't know what the hell I was up that early for. I usually do not wake up that early because I'm working overnight. But you can see a lot of these trades are overnight. I mean, like a 10:42 a.m. 1:30 p.m., 9:07, 10:30 p.m. There's got to be like an 11 in here somewhere. I'm about to sneeze. But I just think that's like funny too. Like I feel like I'm doing everything that is not the trading socially acceptable thing. That was disgusting. Sorry, y'all. But I feel like I do the different thing. I trade late at night. I use higher time frames. I close trades early. I'm sure a lot of people really probably like close trades early, but like I don't look for a certain session. Yeah. So I just wanted to give you all the details of everything and like how it all looks. So let's go back to the screen. Okay, sorry. Payouts. Insane. So these are the accounts that I've had in the past, like pass. So 3 accounts that I passed evals, and then finally the 4th one was the hitter, the home run. Hope I'm not getting sick. Okay, so request payout. It says you have to fill out like tax form stuff for the current year. So I have to do that real quick. I'm just gonna pause the video recording, and then I will pick up after a spot pops up that I'm like, this is a good like. I should probably start recording this. So give me a second. I'm going to do this, and then I'll be right back. Request payout. Fetching latest account balance. So we like to prepare you for what happens after the first payout on this account. So I'm on XFA standard. There were 2 options. You can do the standard, or you can do like the other one, which is basically like you can get a payout in 3 days, but the structure is kind of like, ooh, I don't want to do that. So I just took the standard. I was like, I'll do my simple 5 days, $150 profit. The other one wanted to get into like, you have to make like 40% of something of this day. And then I don't know. Maybe I'm just too stupid. But basically, I just didn't want it. I wanted it to be simple. Like just do 5 days, do good on those 5 days. Cool. Maintain a profitable balance. Your balance must be higher than your balance at your last payout. Okay. Makes sense. Back to funded. Once a payout is requested for this account, it will not be eligible for a reactivation through back to funded. I'm doing AeroPay. So I've been seeing on, I've only seen it on TopStep, but like that they had this, which like it hits your account super, super fast. So that's cool. So I'm doing this. I'm going to cut the video. TopStep prop. That's funny. TopStep prop account. Yeah, I still got a Chase college account. Still got the same damn bank account. All right, whatever. Confirm. Yeah. Submit payout request. Can I do like 2 million? Just one. Okay, so this is cool. So like, my current balance of my account is $5,356 in my TopStep account. So I'm gonna withdraw $2,000 of it. And what I'll have left is $3,356. So as long as the balance is more than $2,000 of whatever I'm withdrawing, I can get a payout. And so I have this of like cushion basically in my account as like margin really. So that's cool. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna continue to just like keep my account at a good amount, so I have cushion and enough like free margin to be able, like, if I take a trading day and I take a loss of like $400, I won't be close to blowing it, because as soon as the account hits zero, I'm done for. So I'm giving myself some cushion, which is cool. So I'm gonna just continue to do that. I'm sure that's probably basic knowledge, but I just don't want to, like, I don't know. I don't want to be an idiot with this, right? Confirm payout. Holy shit. Wow. That is insane. What happens next? Oh, literally, it says what happens next. Okay. Most instant payouts are processed within seconds after review and approval. Some payouts, we need additional review time. We'll keep you updated along the way, and you can track your payout status in the Payouts tab. Wow. Wow. We have done it. That is crazy. That is crazy. Wow. Yeah, y'all, I literally did this with a 50% win rate. 50% win rate. Made $5,300. Profit factor of 6.8. That is insane. And I take nothing but trades in the afternoons. You don't have to do the Asian session nonsense. I don't want to call it nonsense because I'm not trying to offend anybody. Like, whatever works for you, works for you. That's all that matters. But I guess I'm just saying you can do it in the afternoons too. That is just, that's wild that we're even at this spot right now. This was the week. So I got work later. I'm going to take some trades if they set up. I'm going to show y'all my strategy and how I was able to get my first TopStep payout, which is what this whole video was for in the first place. So this is the trade right here. This is one that I wanted to take. This happened overnight. This is what I was looking for, and it looked like it would have really played out, but we didn't take it, so we're not going to talk about it. It doesn't matter. You can see here. So let's start with like the 4 hour. This is where I like mainly look at to find like zones. Okay, so let's first, if you haven't seen this before, all I do is I take trades off the higher time frames is what I aim for. Sorry, that my camera just like fucked up. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I just take trades on the higher time frames. I wish I could swing trade. That's my bread and butter. I love swing trading. Because it's TopStep, we can't do that. So the reason why I like swing trading is because it's just way easier. If you haven't done swing trading, I highly recommend it. Now that TopStep is gonna make it where they are a broker and you can upload your own capital, that would be amazing. I'm looking into that. But for right now, all I do for my strategy is just support resistance. It's like support resistance or whatever. Higher time frames. 4 hour. The daily, really, it's better for Forex. For the futures, though, if I go to the daily, it's just like, no. Yeah, no. It's just not it. You don't get any context. But with the 4 hour, you get a little bit more. With the 1 hour, you get even more. And with the 30-minute, you get even more. And then with the 15-minute, you get even more. And then with like the 5-minute, you get even more. But let's calm down. So like 4 hour, 1 hour is what I stick to. Those are ways for me to just find obvious zones. I just draw out zones that price has bounced in the past. So for here, for instance, this little blue line is like where I try to enter. I'm gonna delete that because it doesn't matter. But basically, yeah, I saw this as being a support zone. A good zone can be support and resistance. Like for example, here it was resistance. Price. I'm gonna use this to like point. You can see my toolbar also. Literally, it's just a box. Path tool. I only use the path tool to point for y'all. That's like all I use it for. And then like long and short, just to plan out like what do I want this trade to look like. I'm probably gonna aim for here. I'm gonna aim for here. And in TopStep, I just drag out the stop loss and target profit to the exact spots. Just so I can really copy like this idea of the long and short tool. But anyways, Yeah, man. So like, look, it was resistance at one point. So I marked out this zone. Let me move this, and I'd like to move it up here at the top. But anyways, this was resistance. This was resistance. It fell and it tested and kind of fell again, and then it bounced. I wouldn't even say bounce. It broke above, and you can see it came down, tested like here, right? This little like whatever. I'm not really paying attention to like the specific, like this wick here and this wick here and this wick here. It's just like what happened. It came up in this area, bounced away. It broke above this area. It tested right in this little region, broke above. It tested here, and it came back down and it tested again. I think I took a long here in the past. But so you can see it found resistance, broke above, came down, tested, bounced, came down, tested again, and bounced. So in my eyes, I'm like, well, perfect. This is a zone. I'm just drawing out the obvious places that price has like went to and moved away from quickly. Same thing here. Resistance, it bounced away, it comes back up, tests in like these 4 or 5 candles. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Now this is kind of like ugly, so bear with me. It's kind of ugly. But basically, so resistance here, it bounced away, it came back up, tested, had a slight little move away, and then it like breaks above. Now this, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this is very ugly right here. That is very ugly. Because it's like, what am I looking at? Is this even a zone anymore? I was saying the same thing. I was like, is this even a zone anymore? I think in the last video, I literally said, like, I don't even know if I would count this as a zone. Because I was looking at, like, what I would probably take in the future. This is kind of ugly here. But, like, why did I still took this trade, and this is the trade that made me $513. This is the trade that helped me get past the verification, or the eligibility for the payout, right? Like, why did I still take it? It's ugly. This zone is ugly. It's not the most clear, beautiful zone, but I still thought, okay, so like, I'm going to try to explain this in the best way that I possibly can. This is going to be kind of hard because like these are my ideas and this is what's going through my brain and this is how I saw it. So resistance. It left, this is basically a wick. If you see like a real big candle and then like a real big bullish or a real big bearish or a real big bearish and then a bullish candle, this is basically just one big wick. Because if you move to like a different time frame, it's gonna be a wick. So like the daily, yeah, it took for the daily for it to look like to register as a wick. But in my eyes, this is a wick, right? So the zone's not perfect. It tested, bounced away, real big move, smaller move, broke above, and is kind of like falling below, but bouncing, but had a little bit of like leakage, and it bounced away. This is the move that I caught. And then you can see here it like tested. This was like last night or like a couple hours ago actually, because we're on the 1 hour. And it like bounced here. It's not the clearest thing, but at the time, I wish they had a replay mode, but they don't. But it's okay. At the time, this candle was happening. So I basically just saw this as like a break above and a retest. And so this is why I'm going to use the path tool. It kind of looks like, I don't know how to explain this. It's like, so if I were to move this out of the way, looks kind of ugly. I've said that many times. It looks kind of ugly. This just kind of, I don't know how to explain this. I'm going to try to, this is so hard to explain. Imagine like sorry, I just hit the desk. Imagine like a bouncy ball. And this is the ball like bouncing between like two walls. And it's building as it's like, the distance that it bounces gets shorter. It's like, I don't even know how to explain that. It's like building up power. It's building up speed to be able to like blast off. Is that's the best way to explain it. These little like if you just look at the momentum, I guess I won't even say momentum because I don't use like momentum. I don't even know what that means, but like it's just the way that price is telling me like where it wants to go. The more that a zone is tested like this in rapid succession, it's most likely just going to break past that zone. That's probably the simplest way to explain it. It keeps quickly testing like it wants to go up. It's like it goes up and it has a big move down. It tried to go up, or it went up. It tried to go down. Didn't go very far. And then it like breaks above, which is like this big wick right here. It breaks above and comes back down. And to me, I'm just like, this is a break and retest. I'm just going to look for a buy. Probably not the best explanation of this. But that's just, I don't know. That's just how I saw it, I guess. It just tries to go down. It doesn't. It quickly goes up, leaves this big old wick. So I'm like, okay, it looks like it's trying to go up because of this big old wick. It's like broken above the zone. It's quickly testing. It's no longer respecting the zone. I think it's just going to go up. And then when this candle just started, I was sitting there watching it, and this candle just started. I was like, oh, it's above this zone of what I be called to be a zone, right? And I'm like, I'll take this as like a break and retest. It's not the clearest zone, but I think it's gonna go up. I didn't target a big move. I'm glad I didn't. Had I have, it probably still would have worked out, but I just didn't. I wasn't really trying to shoot for the stars. I went for a simple 1-to-1. My stop loss was right below. It was like right below these little lows, in case if it spiked down, and it was just a 1-to-1. I risked $500 and to make $500. That kind of explains it. I know it's not the best explanation, but it's just the more that price tests a zone quickly like this, it's just showing me like this. It's not respecting this anymore. It's gonna go past. That's the best way for me to explain that trade. I just took a 1-to-1, and it actually was like lower than this. It hit like right here, and my stop loss was like right there probably. It was a 1-to-1, so it was like something like that, right? But that was the trade. That's literally all my strategy is. And I know like support resistance is very subjective, but honestly, every freaking trading strategy is going to be subjective. It is going to be like, truthfully, somebody else who trades support resistance probably would not have marked up this zone. They would have been like, this is not a zone, bro. I don't know how you saw that, but this is not a clear zone. It's like, fair enough, dog. Honestly, it's not. It's not the best zone. But for some reason, I was just like, this is a good opportunity, and I took it. But I was confident entering this because I knew that if this trade doesn't work out, I'm just going to close it. And if it loses, so what? And if it wins, even better. That's just like how I think about it. Now, had I drawn this zone, let's say like I put this zone a little higher, I'm just gonna get rid of that because it doesn't matter now. But imagine if I drew it like higher, I might have just been like, at the time that this was like happening, before it even broke above this zone, I probably would have been like, this is a good resistance zone, and I probably would have sold here. Like, depending on where exactly I put my zone, that will also depend on like whether I buy or sell. And that's the thing too, bro. Is like, okay, I've thought of this. I feel like the biggest thing that I can say that is probably the most helpful, that I've learned this and I was like, this is beautiful. I learned this from who I learned trading from, and I'm like, this is a amazing idea. Like, my strategy of support resistance, I'm not using it as a way to predict price. Now, yes, like, I'm making a decision and I'm thinking like, I think it'll probably go up from here, but I'm not using it as like a guarantee. Like, I'm like super sold that this trade is going to go up because of my strategy. You can trade whatever the hell you want, and you can listen to fundamental news, like trade because like, I don't know, something is going on in a different country or happening in hours, or whatever, a fair value gap, or what's it called, order flow, or like manipulate. I don't know, bro. Whatever the hell other people trade, but it's like, at the end of the day, everybody is still trading support resistance. You think that price is just going to go up or down. At the end of the day, literally, no matter what you call it, no matter what strategy you say you have, I trade trend lines. I use Fibonacci tools. I use 40 indicators. I use order flow. I wait for manipulation. I wait for breakup structure. I wait for this. I wait for that. I wait for this. Like, everybody at the end of the day is just trading support resistance. You use a different name, but it's still the same damn thing. It's like Parmesan cheese or cheddar cheese. It's like, it's still cheese at the end of the day. Yeah, it's different ones, but like, you're still eating the same shit at the end of the day. So it's like, you're still trading support resistance. But I'm not using it as a way of like predicting where price is going to go. And I'm making it super like complicated and super specific and waiting for this specific thing to happen, and this will happen, and then this will happen, and then that's when I'm going to enter because it's been manipulated, it's broken the structure, and I'm going to wait for the pull to the downside, and I'm going to enter. It's just like, I don't know. I think it's a lot, like, it's making it seem more difficult than it actually is. Everybody's still trading support resistance at the end of the day. I only like support resistance because it just makes it easy for me to structure the risk. That is literally the only reason why I like support resistance, is because I think that this is a zone. If it comes below this subjective area where I think that this is a zone for some reason, if it comes below, I'm just going to close it early. And somebody's zone might be lower, somebody's might be higher. I don't know. To me, though, the only thing that I'm using support resistance for is just to structure the risk. If it comes below this zone, I should really question this trade and be like, I don't think it's going to work out anymore. Let me go ahead and get out of it, because my own trading idea is no longer valid. So why would I want to stay in it if it's no longer valid? And there's a chance that you could close early and it ends up going in the direction that you thought. That sucks. You could close a trade early while it's in profit, and it could have like stopped you out eventually, which is great. Or you could have closed it early in profit, and it could have went even more into profit, which sucks. But like, you just don't know. You don't know. I don't know. After getting my first payout, I don't even know what the hell price is going to do. But I do know that when it comes to like a certain area, or breaks below, or it's halfway to my stop loss, just close it early. And I'm still making a decision, right, off of support resistance, but I'm not relying on it to like get the direction right. I'm just relying on it to say like, okay, this is a chaotic market. How can I keep myself mentally sane and be okay with what goes on? And for me, this is like the way for me to build like mental foundation, mental sanity, because I can just stick to this and I know that I'll be okay. If it breaks below, close it. But like, if this had gone against me, I would have been fine. Like, I'm not going to get angry and be like, but my strategy told me that it was going to go up, when I bought here, because this is supposed to be support, and I bought. So my strategy was wrong. So this strategy sucks. Let me go trade fair value gaps then, or order blocks, or whatever the hell. But I'm not like relying on it to be right. Like, you can see I have a 50% win rate. I keep closing trades early. I'm like, this trade didn't work out. I'm going to close it. And I'll wait for another opportunity that same day, and it sets up, and I'm like, oh, perfect. Like, this is what I was waiting for. And it ends up working out. So I'm not relying on it to like, predict where price is going to go. I just use it for, like, how can I control my trades and close them early and let them continue to run when they're in profit. I feel like I explained all of that terribly. I hope that made some kind of sense, but I'm not relying on support resistance zones to I'm trying to get a general idea. Yes, I'd want to be right about the direction. It makes it that much easier. It's one less decision for me to make. Instead, if I'm waiting for the support zone right here and I decide to buy because my strategy says like, this might be a support zone, look for a buy. And if it's wrong, it's like, it's okay. I'm not relying on it to like predict where it's going to go. It'd be nice. It's, again, one less decision to make, because if it goes below my zone, right, I decide to buy or sell. And if it goes into profit, it's like, cool, I'm going to leave it alone. If it goes into loss, it's just one more decision. Should I close this trade early? Yes or no? And then you decide there. It's just one more decision. That is it. So, yeah. Hopefully that made sense. But this is crazy. I got a payout. That is freaking insane, bro. So that's basically how I trade. That's how I got my first payout. That is all that I did. Everybody's still trading support resistance at the end of the day. You can call it whatever the hell you want. Cheese is cheese, okay? I just like support resistance because it's easy for me to just control risk. I'm trying to find order in chaos. And you don't know what the hell price is going to do. It's going to do whatever it wants to do. You can pay attention to the news. You can pay attention to this and that and this. You can have 5 indicators. You can have 10 indicators. You can have 20. It's not going to make you, I don't know. I feel like it's giving you more things to like contradict and tell you 20 different stories. I feel like the more things you have on your chart and the more things you look for, the more stories you're going to tell yourself and the more confused you're going to get. And then you're like sitting there trying to decide if it's like a good buy opportunity or a good sell opportunity because this thing says this and this thing says that. And by the time you finally decide, the move has already happened, and then you enter either like late and you fuck up the risk structure or whatever. But that's how I trade, bro. So that is how I was able to get my first payout, just doing that. I just mark out clear places, prices bounced and like rejected and bounced at. Like I probably wouldn't call this a zone either, but somebody probably would. I don't even know if I used this. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But like, I don't know, bro. Trading is very subjective, and it's very cool also. So it's cool to even be in this position to even have a payout, bro. A 50% win rate with a 6.8 profit factor. That is nuts. So that basically wraps it up. I'm going to be checking this all day, bro. All day. Still pending. This is insane. So, if you watched this, I appreciate you. This was a long video, but it's because it was a lot to talk about. It was a lot to show. I wanted to give you every detail, and this is just a cool thing to do. So, what am I going to do from this point on? I've been doing a lot of research. So right now I'm trading an XFA, which is an express funded account. So it's not an actual live account. So TopStep has XFAs and then they have LFAs. So I'm still trading XFAs. LFAs are live funded accounts. So the difference is XFA is still like demo, but the money you make, you get a payout and it's real. It's like real money. With the LFA, you have an actual live account. You can request daily payouts. You can request more per payout. And you have an actual, like you get a percentage of whatever tier you have. So there's like 50, 100, and then 150,000 accounts, right? Like I chose 50K account, cheapest one. I'm getting back into TopStep. I'm trying to like use my Forex knowledge on the futures market. And so far it's been working pretty well. But basically, like you can select whichever account and you get 20% of the total capital. So 50K, I get 20% of that. So that's like what, 10K? So I get 10K to like work with. And I get 10% or 20% and I get 10K. That's my account size and it's a live account. It's actual money. They're like, you've requested enough payouts. That's how it works. Like once you get like 3 to 5, anywhere between that, TopStep like watches every person that requests a payout. And after you've consistently gotten payouts, you get the opportunity to trade an LFA, live funded account, but they close all of your XFA accounts. So with that knowledge in mind, I'm still on like level 3, right? I was on level 1 starting with the Express and Eval, right? I'm on level 3. I don't want to get too far ahead and think about level 20 or level 50 when I'm still on like level 3 or 5. But it is good to know that if I do get to a LFA, hopefully, right, I'm still stuck between like, damn, am I profitable or am I not? Because this is just crazy. But I think what I'm going to do is after I get this $2,000, I'm not going to open another account. I'm not going to spend this money. I have to pay taxes on it. Just going to keep it, hold on to it. It's a great feeling to have. It's freaking awesome. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep trading the same account. Hopefully, if I trade the same way that I did last week, I can get another payout in 5 days as long as I make $150 or more. For 5 days, I can get another $2,000. And that would be amazing to have happen because my birthday is in 9 days, June 10th. And that would be so cool if I get another payout before my birthday. Like, make $4K in, like, I don't know, however many days I started. It's like 15 days in 2 weeks. Like, damn, 4K in 2 weeks. Like, bro, I just made $2,000. Well, really, I made $5,300. But what's actually hitting my bank account is $2,000. So I made $2,000. That's like way more than my part-time job that I work right now and some that I make with just that. And it's damn near how much I make in a month from my full-time job as an overnight security. Like, if I can just continue to do this, and not every week is going to be phenomenal like I just had. I'm probably going to have a really shitty week. But as long as I can just keep myself, like, mentally sane and not go crazy and get emotional and lose all of it, like, I'll be fine. Because winners are going to come back around. I'll lose a trade, but there's going to be some trades where, like, it just goes to the target profit. I'm going to make my money back. And as long as I'm closing trades early and I'm holding my winners, I think I'll be okay. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. But I'm just going to keep trading the single account. I might open another XFA just because, like, I can copy trade. And with those two, if I can continue to make profit versus the expense of opening 2 XFAs, right? You have to pay like $49 a month to open 1 XFA. For opening 2, basically eval accounts, right? What I just did. Like, the account that I have right now. But imagine 2. I can copy trade. And instead of $2,000 per payout, I can make $4,000 per payout, which would be awesome. But those accounts are going to get closed if I do get an LFA, if I do have the chance to do that. So I'm just going to keep trading this single account. I'm going to trade this account for another week. So I'll trade it for 2 weeks and see how I do. I'll continue to document this like I have been and, like, look at losers and look at winners and talk about them and break them down and learn and continue to improve. So that's basically what I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to trade this account for like another week. And then after that, if I do pretty good, I'm going to open another account and copy trade. And then hopefully soon I'll get an LFA. That would be freaking awesome. That would be awesome. That's the best way to explain it. So anyways, I've taken enough of your time. Thanks to you. Thank you for even watching. If you did, I'm gonna move myself and make this like big screen so I can leave you with a proper goodbye, give you a kiss for staying this long. Anyways, y'all, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.